Hello. In this video we'll be showing how to transfer the egg count data.csv file information that was produced from the egg counting program to a new spreadsheet showing the hatch groups for that week. The first step is locating the previous week's spreadsheet and copying that to a new file. So we copy that and we paste it. We then rename this spreadsheet to current week by adding 1. Then we open the spreadsheet. If there's a security warning, click Enable Content to enable the macros. The first step in this process is clearing the old data from the previous week. So we click Clear Old Data. That clears this worksheet. It clears the modular number worksheet, and it also clears the raw data. The raw data worksheet is where we'll be pasting the current week's egg count data. So we'll locate that now. So we go to here, just locate the folder. This is the current week. This is the output from the egg counting program. Open the egg count data CSV file, select all of the data, including the column with total recorded. Don't worry about that error that pops up on my computer. Then we paste that here. Okay, so this column has a formula that shows whether or not this row is a total from the egg strip that was below the batch number. If there was batches created for an egg strip, this column will not show total. If it was just an egg strip that had its total number of eggs below that egg batch number chosen in the egg counting program, it'll display total. The first step is in column C. We want to select all of the blanks. So select all the blanks. These will be all of the egg counts for egg strips that had batches of eggs created. So we want to grab all of those, copy that. Now we paste it into column I. Paste that into column I. You can't paste it anywhere else. The macros are pointing to column I. So if you point it anywhere else, it won't work. Then we go back to select all for column C. For column D, we want all of the egg strips that had a total displayed, and that will be the ones that don't have any egg batches on them. That's just the total number of eggs on one egg strip. Then select all of those, copy them. Then we go to the end of that list and paste it at the end. So all of these eggs now that are here will be, if you select all of them, we can see that that's about 145,000 eggs. And that matches the roughly what the total number of eggs are for that week. If we just select total for this column, before we chose blanks, but if we just choose total, that's all of the total number of eggs calculated for each strip without the batches. So all these numbers are what's displayed on the egg photos for that big egg number text that you see. So if we select all of those, that will give you the total egg number for that week. So that's 139,000, and that's roughly matching what's here, which is about 145,000. And that little offset of 6,000 is expected. The total number of eggs is slightly different from how the batch numbers were calculated. So we've got our raw data in column I and J. The next step is to click Number 2, sort data. This will transfer this data and the egg number into these columns. So give it a click. Click OK for this. Okay, now it's cleared that data and it's inserted it into here. So we've got the slide, we've got the date, we've got the overstrip ID, and the egg number and the file. That was all extracted from that, from this field. So we'll just get all the data back here for next time. So we'll put all of this so that when we go to clear the data on the next week, this can all be cleared without the filter on it. So the next step is creating the hatch groups. Now you select the cell D2 and scroll down all the way down to the bottom of the list +1. So if it's down to row 183, we select the next row, because when it's creating hatch groups, it's going to detect that this is the end of the list because there's no data here. So we scroll back up and we select create hatch groups. So wait for this to complete. What it's doing is it's populating the D column with the hatch groups for groups that should be hatched together, because the it's scrolling down that column E and adding the overstrip the slide number to a string and adding it to column D for all the hatch groups, for all the batches that should be hatched together. Just wait for that to complete. This is the macro that saves the most time. Sorry, it's going crazy, but it's just doing its thing. It'll take some time. The more egg strips there are, the more time it'll take. Okay, the hatch groups have been created. So these rows with a single number means hatching this egg strip by itself. We can deal with those soon. Now, when it goes down to the end of this list, some of them will end up with blanks. So we have to manually create those groups by ourselves, because the combinations it could detect were not sufficient to create the string, so it skipped them. So what we can do is add these. So that's slide 77 and 83. Copy that one to there. Now it's doing that based on 461 eggs, and 1,132. We're just going to have to hatch those together because no other combinations gets it within the range of that 1250 to like 1200 to 1400 eggs. So we've got the next one is slide 85. The next one is 908. So we can add them together. 85 and what is it? 89. Sorry. Copy that. So what we're doing is creating these hatch groups together, so that's one and that one will be hatched together. It's 700 and 258 and then 601, so we add them all together. That's slide 91. Next one is 98 and 106. Copy that cell, paste it into those rows. Then we have 600 and 715, so these ones can be hatched together. 6. Copy that, paste it there, so those two can be hatched together. And these last three can be hatched together. So it's approximately 1,377 eggs. 117, slide 118, and slide 119. So copy those, paste it into those. So now our hatch groups are complete. Every cell has a value. The next step is calculating the number of modulabs. You don't have to have any cell selected, we can just go ahead and select that button. What it'll do is populate this worksheet and remove all of the duplicate values. It'll create a unique ID for these ones. So this is a separate one, but it's from the same egg strip, but it needs to have a unique ID for to be hatched in a single separate modulab. So let's go ahead and select calculate number of modulabs. It'll copy over those hatch groups and populate this column, and what we have is 116 modulabs for that week. And 102 is the minimum, is the preferred minimum that we calculated originally. So anything over 102 is overperforming in the lab. Next thing we can do is remove these these slide IDs. So we can get rid of these ones. Anything that has just a single value can be removed. Anything that has more than one slide ID, you leave it there. We'll go back to this one and we select sort. Just click OK. These are the correct sorting hierarchy. We'll go back to that and we've got all of our unique hatch groups, and these ones are the blank, you just hatch them by themselves. Last thing we can do is to confirm that the slide number down the bottom matches the number of photos, so that's 124. Next thing we can do is create the slideshow. That's the last thing we want to do. What we want to do is insert a photo album. We locate the output folder from the egg counting program. So go to the output folder. This is, I call it count data. Select all of these files down to here. This is the last photo. We insert those into the album and create the slideshow. We can delete this first slide, and all of these now, these slides will match what is in this column. So the first one is 390 for this file. That's what we have here, 390. The next one was this ID number 2 for the 6th of December. This is 2,678. That's matching this one here, and so on. So we can go down to slide number 124, and there should be this file, and it was 197 eggs. Go down to the bottom just to confirm that everything is in order. If the last file is the same, if this data line, if this row is the same as this slide 124, then we can be confident that the rest of them are in order and no errors were made. Okay, so we save this file Just go back to the folder. We can call it week 20. Call it the 6th to the 9th. Just all the range of dates that it was covering. December 2021. Save that. And you're done. That's it. Save this. Make sure that's in the same folder if you like. Exit the account data CSV file. That's it for this video. Happy to answer any questions if anything is confusing. Thank you very much. Bye.